The rain had started before sunrise. By the time my husband Daniel kissed me goodbye and left for work, gray clouds covered the sky like a warning. I stood at the kitchen sink holding my coffee, watching his car disappear down the street, while thunder rolled in the distance. "Lock the doors," he called before driving away. I smiled faintly. I always do. At the time, I thought he sounded overprotective. I had no idea he was terrified. 3 minutes after he left, someone knocked on the front door. Not loud, not aggressive, just 3 quick taps. I frowned. Nobody visited this early. When I opened the door, I found Emma, our 12-year-old neighbor, standing on the porch in oversized pajamas and rain boots. Her wet blonde hair clung to her cheeks, and she kept looking over her shoulder like someone might be watching her. "Emma?" I asked softly. "What happened?" She stepped closer. Then she whispered words that turned my blood cold. "You need to hide." For a second, I honestly thought I misheard her. "What?" Her lips trembled. "My dad heard something last night," she whispered. "About your husband." A knot tightened in my stomach. "What are you talking about?" Emma swallowed hard. "He said some men are coming today. Bad men." Thunder cracked outside. I glanced behind her toward the empty street. "What men?" She looked terrified. "I don't know. But my dad said if they find you before Daniel comes back, you'll disappear too." Disappear. Not hurt. Not robbed. Disappear. I felt ice crawl down my spine. "Emma," I said carefully, kneeling to her level. "Did your father tell you to come here?" She shook her head quickly. "No, he told Mom not to say anything, but I heard them fighting." Then she leaned even closer. "They think Daniel stole something." My heart stopped. Daniel worked as an accountant for a luxury real estate company downtown. Quiet job. Quiet life. We'd been married 8 years. He hated conflict. Hated attention. None of this made sense. A car turned onto our street. Emma jumped. "That's them," she whispered. Then she ran home. I stood frozen on the porch as a black SUV rolled slowly past my house. Tinted windows, no license plate on the front. The SUV stopped for 2 seconds, then continued driving. Every instinct in my body screamed danger. I slammed the door shut and locked it. My hands shook as I grabbed my phone and called Daniel. Straight to voicemail. Again. Voicemail. I texted him immediately. "Call me now. Something is wrong." No response. Outside, rain hammered against the windows harder now. I checked every lock in the house. Front door, back door, garage, windows. My chest tightened with panic. Maybe Emma misunderstood. Maybe this was ridiculous. But deep down, I knew something terrible was coming. Then my phone buzzed. A text from Daniel. "Do not leave the house. Do not trust anyone. I'm coming home." That was it. No explanation. No comfort. Just fear. And suddenly I realized something horrifying. My husband had known. I rushed upstairs to our bedroom and opened Daniel's closet, searching for answers like a madwoman. Most of it looked normal. Dress shirts. Shoes. Ties. But behind a stack of sweaters sat a small black safe I had never seen before. My breath caught. We had no secrets from each other. At least I thought we didn't. I pulled at the handle. Locked. I stared at it for several seconds before hearing tires crunch outside again. The SUV had returned. This time it stopped directly in front of our house. 3 men stepped out. Dark clothes, broad shoulders. One of them pointed toward the house. Panic exploded inside me. I ran downstairs and turned off every light. The men approached slowly through the rain. One knocked heavily on the door. Boom, boom, boom. "Mrs. Carter," a voice called calmly. "We just want to talk." I backed away silently. Another knock. "We know your husband is not home." My pulse pounded so hard it hurt. Then came the sentence that shattered me. "He stole from the wrong people." I covered my mouth to stop myself from gasping. What had Daniel done? The men circled the house. I heard footsteps near the backyard, another near the garage. They were checking entrances, hunting. I locked myself in the downstairs bathroom and called Daniel again. This time, he answered immediately. "Listen to me carefully," he said breathlessly. "Daniel, what is happening?" I didn't have a choice. "What did you do?" Silence. Then, I found evidence. My confusion deepened. Evidence of what? His voice dropped lower. The company I work for launders money for dangerous people. Millions of dollars. I nearly dropped the phone. What? They use fake property sales to move money overseas. Politicians, criminals, judges, everyone's connected. Outside, another loud bang hit the front door. "Daniel, there are men outside." "I know, they followed me weeks ago." My entire body went numb. "You knew this could happen?" "I tried to protect you." "By lying to me?" His breathing became shaky. I copied files from the company. Servers, names, transactions, videos, everything. My stomach twisted. "You stole evidence from criminals?" I was going to give it to the FBI. Before I could answer, glass shattered downstairs. I screamed, "They're inside! Hide!" Daniel said immediately, "Go to the basement." I ran from the bathroom as footsteps echoed through the house. Drawers opening, furniture crashing, men searching room by room. I flew toward the basement door and locked it behind me. Darkness swallowed me as I descended the stairs. Then I heard another voice upstairs. A familiar voice. My breath stopped. It was my mother-in-law, Patricia. "Search everywhere," she said coldly. I froze. No. Impossible. Patricia adored me. Or pretended to. Tears filled my eyes as realization hit me. This wasn't random. This was family. Daniel heard my silence. "What's wrong?" I whispered the words. "Your mother is here." The line went silent. Then Daniel cursed under his breath. "She found out." Found out what? Another long pause. Then the truth finally came out. My father helped run the operation before he died. I stared into darkness, unable to breathe. What? My family has been involved for years. Everything inside me cracked apart. The expensive vacations, the unexplained money, Patricia's wealthy friends, the giant inheritance Daniel once mentioned but never explained. It suddenly made horrifying sense. "I tried to leave it behind," Daniel whispered. "But when I found proof they were trafficking girls through fake housing programs, my blood ran cold. Trafficking. Dear God. I couldn't stay quiet. Upstairs, Patricia shouted angrily. "She's still here. Find her." I heard footsteps approaching the basement door. Daniel spoke quickly. "There's a second exit through the storage room." I looked behind me. An old wooden door I'd never noticed before. "Take the flash drive from the safe," Daniel said. "The code is your birthday. How do I get upstairs?" "There's another staircase." The basement door rattled violently. "Hurry." I sprinted through the storage room and found the hidden staircase leading into the garage. Rain blasted against the roof as I emerged quietly. I raced upstairs to the bedroom, opened the safe with shaking hands, and grabbed a red flash drive inside. But there was something else. Photographs. Girls. Young girls. Some looked terrified. One photo had signatures on the back. Buyers. I nearly vomited. These monsters weren't just laundering money. They were selling human beings. A floorboard creaked behind me. I turned. Patricia stood in the doorway holding a gun. The woman who hugged me every Christmas. The woman who cried at our wedding. The woman who called me daughter. Now pointing a weapon at my chest. Her expression was ice cold. "You should have stayed out of this." I backed away slowly. "You're part of this?" Patricia's face hardened. "You have no idea what this family built. You traffic children." Her jaw tightened. "We provide opportunities. Money changes hands everywhere. That's how power works." I stared at her in horror. "You're insane." Patricia stepped closer. Daniel was weak, just like his father became at the end. Thunder shook the house. "You know what weak people do?" She continued calmly. They grow consciences. I gripped the flash drive tighter behind my back. You killed your husband? Something flickered in her eyes. Not guilt. Annoyance. He threatened everything. My heart pounded violently. Daniel's father hadn't died naturally. Patricia smiled faintly. You should have listened to your husband and hidden better. Then she raised the gun, but before she could fire, another gunshot exploded downstairs. Patricia jumped. A man shouted. Then another shot rang out. Daniel. Patricia rushed from the room. I heard screaming below. Furniture crashing. I followed carefully and peeked over the staircase. Daniel stood in the living room, soaked from rain, holding a pistol with shaking hands. One of the men lay bleeding on the floor. Another aimed at Daniel from the kitchen. Patricia screamed, "Kill him!" The second man fired. Daniel ducked behind the couch. Glass exploded everywhere. I spotted the front door still open from the chaos. If I could escape, but Patricia suddenly saw me. There she is. The armed man turned toward me instantly. I ran. Bullets slammed into the wall behind me. I sprinted out into the storm barefoot, clutching the flash. Drive like my life depended on it because it did. Rain blinded me as I ran across the street. Emma's father opened his door before I even reached it. Inside, he shouted. I stumbled into their house, gasping. He locked the door immediately. Emma sat crying on the couch. I called the police, her father said. But those men jammed cell signals earlier. Gunshots echoed outside. My entire body shook uncontrollably. Daniel's still there. Emma's father looked grim. Then headlights flooded the street. Police cars. Finally. Sirens screamed through the neighborhood. The armed men fled through the backyard while Patricia calmly walked out the front door, pretending to be terrified. I watched in disbelief. She's lying, I whispered. But powerful people know how to survive. And Patricia was powerful. By the time officers searched the house, the gunmen were gone. And Patricia had already created her story. Daniel, according to her, had stolen money from dangerous clients and suffered a mental breakdown. She painted herself as the grieving mother trying to stop him. The police weren't sure who to believe until I handed them the flash drive. Everything changed. Bank transfers, secret recordings, names, videos, photos, enough evidence to destroy careers, companies, and entire networks. Federal agents arrived within hours. Then more. Then news vans. The story exploded nationwide. Human trafficking, political corruption, money laundering, missing girls. Every horrifying secret buried for decades finally surfaced. And Patricia? She disappeared before federal agents could arrest her. For 3 weeks, nobody knew where she went. Then one night, Daniel received a package. No return address. Inside was a single photo. Me, taken through our bedroom window. Written on the back, "Family never betrays family." Daniel broke down crying. "I'm so sorry," he whispered. I looked at him for a long time. The man I loved had lied to me for years, but he had also risked everything to stop monsters, including his own family. "Help me finish this," I said quietly. And we did. Over the next 6 months, Daniel worked directly with investigators. More arrests followed. Judges, businessmen, police officers, even a senator. The deeper authorities dug, the uglier it became. Patricia's organization had hidden behind charity programs and luxury real estate for nearly 20 years. But eventually, they found her. She'd been hiding in a private estate near the coast under a fake identity. Federal agents surrounded the property at dawn. According to reports, Patricia refused to surrender peacefully. And when they finally arrested her, she reportedly smiled and said, "You think this ends with me?" Maybe she was right. Maybe evil never fully disappears. But her empire did. At trial, survivors testified for days. Girls who had once been terrified and voiceless finally faced the people who destroyed their lives. And for the first time, the powerful people in expensive suits looked afraid. Patricia received 6 life sentences. No parole. No deals. No mercy. The courtroom applauded when the verdict was read. But revenge didn't feel the way I imagined. It wasn't joy. It wasn't celebration. It was quieter than that, like finally breathing after nearly drowning. A year later, Daniel and I moved away. New town, new house, new locks on every door. Sometimes I still wake up during storms remembering that morning. The knock on the door, Emma whispering, "You need to hide." People always think revenge is about punishment, but they're wrong. Real revenge is exposure. Dragging darkness into the light where it can't hide anymore. Patricia spent her whole life believing money and fear made her untouchable. In the end, what destroyed her wasn't violence. It was truth, and truth, once released, spreads faster than fear ever could.